I started this gangster shit. And this the mother thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangster shit. And this the mother thanks I get.
Hey, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. We need you here. Thanks.
Oh, dear. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and my name is Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of this crazy, decrepit comic book industry, world's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. It's important to stay humble. Great big Star Wars fan and trusted member of the media. So I woke up this morning, I turned on Twitter, as you do. You know, I'm flipping through Twitter, and I see Razorfist cringing on a subatomic level over this very strange article, releasing cringe nuclear fission. I was like, oh my God, what is Razorfist worried about? Well, this article here on CBR, by the way, CBR is becoming an increasingly peculiar website. They really are. I think the guy who founded them went over and took a job over at DC Comics on some kind of editorial level. And has he left the website to the nut jobs, to the lunatics? I think so. Now, let's see. How do I put this kindly? CBR is shit as a website. It isn't good. I mean, I mean that, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean to, I'm not here to bash comic book resources. I'm just saying that it is shit. And if you have a view, if you have an opinion that might oppose, that might, counter any of the people in charge of that website, especially over on their message boards, they will block you. They will delete your message board thread. They will treat you in the most antisocial way. These social justice warriors will treat you very antisocially and without any justice. It is pure injustice. So never go to CBR. They are a den of weirdos and lunatics, but at the same time, they are perfectly reflecting the comic book industry as it is right now. The mainstream comic book industry in its death throes has forgotten what it means to be a superhero, what it is that people read comic books for, and now, I don't know, they're just flailing around. Now, I will say this, I'm going to retract something that I said, that I've said many times to people who are trying to break into the comic book industry. People say, Ethan, what's your advice about breaking into the comic book industry? I said, well, get your foot in the door. Say yes to anything. If you're an artist, if you are a writer, the answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. The only thing you should be turning down is your collar, and maybe not even that. Do not turn down any job at Marvel or DC when you're trying to break in, because basically all you're trying to do is get your name on the lips of all of those, goony beard men in editorial over there, the ones that hit on their young assistant editor, chippy work girlfriends. You just need to get your name on their lips so that they're kind of circulating it around the office. Your first job isn't going to necessarily, probably not define who you are in the future. You're going to be able to move on to do bigger and better things. So say yes to the first job that you get offered over there, and then, do your best to move around. Now, when I said that, that was before this existed. When I said, take the first job that gets offered to you, that was before this was a reality, before we had anything called Lady Octopus, and before they were fighting the opposite gender. They were just fighting men. So I retract that statement now. Say no to some things for your own sake, for your own dignity. This is, of course, one of those opportunities that you can actually stand up for yourself, have some pride, and say, no thank you. No thank you. I would I'd rather not. I'd rather chew on aluminum foil than draw these characters and do anything that's going to result in my name being connected to an article on the weirdo, hive mind creep board called CBR, with a title, the article, "Hey Mom, look, they're writing about me on CBR. Marvel's hey Dad." Mom might shrug. Dad would be like, "What the hell, son? Marvel's all-female villain team takes aim at toxic masculinity. Oh no! Oh my goodness! I'm so scared." I'm grateful that they're at least acknowledging that these individuals are villains, because villains do go after righteousness in general, right? I mean, villains and villainesses oppose righteousness, and masculinity. And this, by the way, this derogation, which I reject thoroughly. I think that masculinity in all its forms, it could never be toxic. It could only be something that allows things to grow. Look, we penetrate in the unpenetrable, and then we, fertilize and allow great allow great things to happen. That is what men do. That is the meaning of masculinity. How could anything like that ever be toxic? I don't know. If you're a bitch, maybe you don't like that. But all right, let's take a look at this article and let's see what this is about. Warning: the following contains major spoilers for The Amazing Spider-Man from Nick Spencer. Oh no, Nick, are you getting involved in politics again, Nick? Oh my goodness, I thought you'd learned your lesson. Nick Spencer famously broke Captain America. When you work in mainstream comics, you will learn, and you're working on other people's characters, you're working on characters that have stood the test of time for 80 years, they will say it is possible for you to break these characters. There are rules for these characters. And your job is to steward them over into the next generation. It's kind of an honor. You can look at it that way. It's an honor. You get to, pick up this character, shine up the character, make the character new and good, and keep the character fresh and ready for the next generation of an audience to enjoy. It's your job. You get to handle the character for a little while and pass it along. You can bend the character, but you cannot. You should not bend the character so far that it breaks. Nick Spencer managed to do that with Captain America. How hard, how difficult is it to maintain the standard bearer of American patriotism as a superhero? How hard is it to express those simple and kind of, by the way, feel free to make them ambiguous so that you can't tell if Captain America is right wing or left wing. He's just everything that's wonderful about Americanism. He's he's a guy who gets it done. He gets the job done. And he does it for America. That's all you really need to do. Nick Spencer managed to make him a Nazi. Nick Spencer. Nick Spencer did a whole miniseries where Captain America came out and said, "Hail Hydra." In other words, the Nazi stand-in. Marvel's Nazi stand-in organization is called Hydra. And evidently, according to Nick Spencer, Captain America had been working for Hydra all along. So in other words, all of your Captain America comics are ruined. All of them. Going all the way back to the 1930s, 1940. When did Captain America come out? 1940 maybe? All of those comics are ruined. He ruined them because Captain America in them was a liar and a faker and a Nazi all along. That is how to break a superhero. That is how to break a character, and he managed to do it. So now they got him working on the ladies, and I guess go ahead. Kev Walker, you're the artist of this? Oh, my poor dude. All right, fine. John Dell, the inker. Laura Martin, the colorist. And what is this? Are we actually crediting the letterer now? I mean, I guess that's very progressive. That's kind. All right, we're going to keep reading this garbage. Marvel's The Amazing Spider-Man is changing the dynamic of Peter Parker's social circle. That's what I hear. That is what I hear. And won't Gwen Stacy and won't Mary Jane be surprised? They're thinking about making Peter Parker bisexual at this point. Well, he's hid it all along. We never saw that side of him. Well, maybe we did a little bit recently. He's been hanging out with the Human Torch in a very special way. Human Torch, another guy who chases the ladies a lot, but maybe he was just hiding something. Maybe he and Peter have some. Well, that's where Marvel's going. That's where Marvel's going with this. So. All right, so they're changing his social circle in a huge way as he's been forced to defend his roommate Boomerang from the... This is all garbage. Who cares about this? All right, well, hold on. Let's read this part. All right, but while the latest chapter sees the team pursuing Boomerang to undoubtedly score a major payday, we eventually discover a common ambition the members share. You don't say. They want to bring down the patriarchy. Oh, my goodness. We got a whole supervillain team that came out of gender studies. They're all gender study majors. Fantastic. I figured that would happen. We tried to warn you. And this is what's going to happen, by the way, if you actually pay off all of their student loans. If the government pays off these gender studies majors' student loans, they're going to have nothing to do but form some kind of supervillain coven to attempt to take down toxic masculinity. And who needs that? Tell them to get jobs. All right, so they're taking a shot at toxic masculinity in a New York that they believe should have more women in power. We need more women in power. Well, this is definitely the way to get there. Crime, absolutely. And this is the problem. You've got fugly women with big fat noses sitting there trying to drink, and they're all scowly. They all have weird butch haircuts, except for this one. And we've got this guy. This is, by the way, these comics, I do want to point out, again, 95% of the comic book reading public is male. So in other words, this is how they see you guys. See this big grin, toothy grin? Hey, nice costume. Oh yeah, right. Like most of you would ever go up to a girl in a bar and offer her a drink with an umbrella in it. Oh, rolling our eyes here. Oh, we don't want a drink. Over here, scowling. Oh, not again. Can I go anywhere without my beauty being complimented? Oh my gosh, it's such a... I'm so put upon. I'm here trying to drink flaming Jello shots, 4 of them, and people are just trying to buy me drinks. It's so degrading. And hey, nice costume, I disagree. You know, I'd say hey, nice costume here, but I'd laugh when I said it. I'd go, hey, nice costume, honk honk. Like I don't mean honk honk like I mean honk honk like clown show. Yeah, I might say it to her, but I would be kind of like kidding. And then her, I would not say that to. That is not a nice costume, and her eyes look really, really weird there. But she's Lady Octopus, so maybe that's a thing. Oh right, but what about you? I've never even met you before. She just says, I just love violence. So I guess they're punishing this man for trying to buy them drinks. This is normal. By the way, the men who write these feminist kind of men who try to write feminism are hilarious. In the 90s, feminism was represented by barbed wire over a Dark Horse with a big stiletto boot kicking men in the balls and kicking them in the face. It's almost like wish fulfillment for these weirdo male feminists, because it's men that write these stories. And here again, I mean, men. What is it that this guy did exactly? Compliment her appearance and try to buy her a drink while they were, I guess, trying to be alone. You go up to a moper and you try to buy them a drink, and for that, I guess she says, he's like, oh yeah, I did do that. That was how awful of me. How awful of me. Why? And she goes, no, I just love violence. So I guess they're going to commit acts of horrible violence on this guy for his crime of saying that they look nice. Women are sick of it. Women are sick of being told they look nice. Well, I mean, most of them don't look nice right now. Most of the women who are sick of it are deliberately trying to not look nice, I'm afraid. Well, when the women attack Boomerang at the Feast Center, what is the Feast Center? Peter hides Aunt May and runs. All right. Whatever. This is garbage. All right, so we've got Lady Octopus, we've got Scorpia, we've got White Rabbit, and we've got, who else? Did I read them all? That's not 6 people. That's not the Sinister Six. The women are rightfully annoyed. As their vendetta comes to light, it turns out Boomerang might have crossed some lines with his forward behavior and frat boy mentality. We'll murder him. He was forward with them. He tried to engage them in conversation at a bar. What? He tried to buy them a drink. What? You're kidding me. Oh my God. We've got to form up. Ladies, we've got to get together. We've got to get 6 of us, 6 superpowered women, and just, beat the hell out of this guy. Oh my goodness. When we find out the new Syndicate views New York City's crime scene as biased, Alistair Smythe tries to belittle Lady Octopus over his own work. Rhino just doesn't treat Scorpion equally. Oh, that's awful. That is awful. Rhino is not treating Scorpion equally, and that is not fairly. That is not fair. And White Rabbit admits Hawkeye makes passes at her in battle, which she finds offensive. Look at her. She's like, oh, and it's not just the criminals. Hawkeye constantly hits on me while I'm trying to murder him. It's infuriating. Ew, what is Hawkeye doing? I thought he was hard of hearing, not blind. Alistair Smythe says, Alistair Smythe once corrected me on the theory of inherited clone memory. I wrote the theory of inherited clone memory. Yeah, I did it. It was me. Rhino refuses to arm wrestle me. I think he's scared. All right, but those days are over. No more. Your petty grievances. We're here. We've assembled to confront and put a stop to the sources of all of your petty grievances. All of the people who hurt your ego and your pride. We're going to go get them. Those days are over, says this weirdo. Nonetheless, while they make their own hashtag #MeToo list, guys, is this what you want in your comics? This is what Marvel Comics has become. Is this what you want to read about? I can't believe this. I can't believe this is happening. This is so weird. It's like these people live on Twitter. The real world doesn't exist to them. Their fantasies now. Their fantasies have been reduced to petty conflicts and hashtags on Twitter. They're so removed from the real world and what's going on outside that they can't take a leap beyond what's outside to something fantastic, something amazing and imaginative. They've got supervillains griping about being hit on by men. They've got female supervillains who have no ambitions except to get back at the men who tried to buy them drinks at bars. Wow, that's comics. That's comics. You're going to need more than 6 panels per page to hold in all of that drama and action. All right, so this is the thing. With technology at their disposal and fists controlling politicians and media arms, they could use his extensive resources to help get rid of others they view as oppressive. These villains are going to get rid of people they find oppressive, which would only strengthen the Kingpin's grip. Beetle already made it clear that they're about ideas and improving the class of criminal running the city, with Fisk backing them. Spider-Man could be a front row seat to a shocking makeover right in his own backyard. Oh my goodness. Amazing Spider-Man number 28 goes on sale August 28th. I'm sure that you guys are so excited about this. You've got to be thrilled. Guys, look, settle down. Those of you guys who are writing to impress women, stop it. Women are not reading your books and you look weird to men. I think that's what I want to say. Guys who are thinking about drawing these stories written by these castrated, your castrated peers, say no. Say no. If you truly have talent, and that's questionable, then something better is going to come along eventually. You don't have to do this. You don't actually have to do this. You don't have to submit to this humiliation. I mean, my God. Thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you think about it. I mean, is this... can you believe it? Can you feel the comic book industry sucking up its own rear end? Can you feel it just kind of circling the drain at this point? Does it feel weird? Does it give you a headache a little bit? Do you feel like... when you read this, do you kind of black out a little bit? I kind of do. My vision goes blurry, and I just kind of, oh my... Well, maybe I just need caffeine. Maybe I gotta get back I quit caffeine 3 days ago, and now I'm all messed up. But this is still alarming. Leave me a message in the comments below. Tell me what you think about this. If you like this video, please hit thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. We need you here. And double check and make sure YouTube didn't unsubscribe you against your will. I mean, if you unsubscribe just because you wanted to, that's one thing. But if you didn't want to, and YouTube forced you to, that's part of the toxic masculinity of YouTube, and we must oppose that. We must take aim at that. So please do subscribe, resubscribe, and welcome back. Thanks everyone. Bye. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey 08053, and I'll probably open it up on a live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. Join the Fandom Menace and execute your own Order 66 with our incredible line of t-shirts, Soylo, a Soy Wars story, Tico, a Soy Wars story, and our brand new smoking hot Soy Wars Plan 9. Make a statement today. This is the only trilogy you'll ever need. The link is below in the description.